it really comes down to investing into the people that you hire. So even if they're nearshore or in the office next door, you really got to teach and show them kind of what you want and how you want them to do it. And that would be my advice to anybody who's looking into nearshoring, is just make sure that you certainly can't hire somebody and then expect them to know your ways and do what you do. They're in another country. They don't know your practice. They don't know your culture. They don't know the speed, the efficiency that you want to work. So you really got to work on getting them up to speed and understanding kind of why time matters in personal injury for at least us, and why it matters to our clients. It really comes down to investing into the people that you hire. So even if they're nearshore or in the office next door, you really got to teach and show them kind of what you want and how you want them to do it.
Hi, welcome back to another episode of the Law Firm Success Story. Now, this episode is brought to you by Solvo. So they recommended a few really good law firms that had some impressive success stories. And I've been checking out some of their content on Instagram. And I will tell you, the guests that we're going to have on today are going to be able to share their story, what they've done, what are some of the challenges that they face. So definitely pay attention as I bring Austin and Brian in. Austin and Brian, welcome to the show. How are you?
Doing great. How are you
What's
doing
up,
today?
man?
I am great. I'm great. So I guess for people who may not be familiar with your Instagram page or any other social medias that you're on, can you guys give a little bit of context on your firm and how you got started?
The firm started January of 2024. Brian and I had been working at this for a long time and talking about it, and we actually started the conversation over one too many margaritas in Cabo, and we thought through it. We met a lot of people who were really successful at doing what they did, and we loved where we were both at. We were both at great law firms and really reputable places. We loved the people we worked with, but we thought it'd be fun to do something different. We thought we could bring something different. So by utilizing tech, utilizing opportunities of cheap marketing like social media, and then obviously utilizing shore hiring, which is Solvo, we felt that we could grow this business differently than other law firms had done, especially differently than they'd done in Arizona. And we just had a good natural partnership with each other and said, screw it, let's go for it. And it's been nothing but a blessing since.
Awesome. Nice. So I guess, Brian, from your perspective, who would you say came up with the idea of, hey, let's do some stuff out of the box? Or was that kind of a thought process that both of you equally shared going into this?
You know, we collaborate a lot, and this law firm that we've just started just a little bit over a year ago was not something that was whipped together in a weekend or two. It was a lot of weekends, a lot of planning, a lot of trying to figure out how can we afford to manage our own lifestyles and then bring on employees and things like that. And I think when it came to the nearshore hiring, we had some friends that had some good experiences, and we didn't really have any cases at the time. So we had a lot of time to actually invest in our nearshore paralegals to get them up to speed and teach them some of the things that we wanted them to be able to handle for us. So that was the start of it. And then soon we ran into a situation where we didn't have really any time to teach them. And it was, oh no, hopefully they got it. Since then, we've been able to resolve that issue and implemented a lead paralegal here at the firm in Arizona that all day what she does is teach and support and help our nearshore paralegals really get up to speed with her 10 to 15 years of case management and paralegal experience here in Arizona. So that's how it's worked for us. But in terms of planning or taking credit, I wouldn't take it. I'll take 50% credit. That's about as far as I can go in Austin.
Gotcha. Now, both of you have mentioned the concept of nearshoring it. And I think, Brian, you started to go down that path a little bit on just what it was really like to get the staff up to speed. So both of you can share from your perspective on any tips you would give to someone who's thinking about nearshoring and they're concerned, okay, how am I going to get this remote staff up to speed so that, hey, we don't have any hiccups in the business?
Yeah, we went through the interview process. Myself and Austin did. We started interviewing some of the candidates that the Solvo team had brought to us, and immediately we were very impressed. Actually, we wanted to hire just one person to try him out, and we were like, these two people are great. Let's just start with two. We can each have our own paralegal, and then we can teach them, and we'll just see how it goes. And from there, we really invested a ton of time to like really teach them and do a lot of videos and give them the resources they can reference even when we weren't around. But I would just answer your question. It really comes down to investing into the people that you hire. So even if they're near shore or in the office next door, you really got to teach and show them kind of what you want and how you want them to do it. And that would be my advice to anybody who's looking into nearshoring, is just make sure that you certainly can't hire somebody and then expect them to know your ways and do what you do. They're in another country. They don't know your practice. They don't know your culture. They don't know the speed, the efficiency that you want to work. So you really got to work on getting them up to speed and understanding kind of why time matters in personal injury for at least us, and why it matters to our clients. So that teaching process has been off of mine and Austin's radar for probably about the last 6 months or now. But I think the team's actually a lot better off for it, having someone they can go to all the time.
Like getting 6 months in and then having staff at the company who can actually be the one that's training them and developing them, or did it just happen in that timing for you guys?
No, is it Mike Tyson that says that everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face? That's been us in a good way. I think Brian and I had a strategy of we worked really hard to build a strategy of what we wanted this law firm to look like and how we do it. And hey, what are we going to do when we encounter this problem? What are we going to do when we encounter this? And hey, we can't get cases. How are we going to go get cases? What are we going to? We planned out all of the other side. And what we didn't plan out is, hey, what do we do if this runs a little bit quicker than we expect it to run? And it did. And so we really very intentionally, the faster the firm runs, the more we invest resources into it. And so no, the plan was definitely not to build out a whole support staff for a Solvo team in 6 months. The plan was Brian and I to hang out with two great paralegals and work our cases, and then quickly we realized we needed more help and more people, and it's built upon itself. And definitely grateful for the way it's gone, grateful for Liz managing them in house, because it's made the process completely different. There'd be no way to do it without the support staff internally to assist the Solvo team, but definitely not what we expected by any means.
Gotcha. So I want to talk a little bit about the firm. So, when clients are picking your firm and saying, hey, I want this firm to represent me, what are some of the big things that kind of stand out as like, why do people pick your firm to represent them?
I think the things about our firm are like, from a branding perspective, you have to look at, okay, you look at the Instagram, and the take is these guys are funny and don't take themselves too seriously. And that's intentionally because from a branding perspective, you're looking at us and you're saying, okay, how can we compete with the guys who have a bunch of gray hair and 30 more years experience than us? And if we're competing head to head with those kind of competitors, the optic of putting us in a suit and standing toe to toe doesn't display what we're capable of. And so instead we really lean into the alternative a little bit aggressively, in the sense that, look, we are younger, we are quick, like we have a lightning bolt in our logo for a reason. We move quick, we hit powerfully, we go as quick and efficiently as we possible, and we utilize all of technology and nearshoring and assets like that to make our product move in a way that is collaborative with the clients and allows them to stay involved in their case and understand what's going on, and move at a speed that firms that aren't utilizing these assets can just not do. So I think that, look, if you want a firm full of people who've been practicing for 40 years, we're not that firm. If you want a firm made off the backs of guys who have practiced like that, we were the guys doing the work for the guys who practiced 40 years. We were the guys behind the scenes that were making those firms efficient as well. And you want to see a firm that utilizes technology and the new age of practicing law, that's absolutely us. We are as competitive as can be in that area. And because we're young, because we're hungry, we fight like hell. If you want someone who's going to chew the hell out of the dog bone, that's probably us.
Yeah, and I'll add to that, and it ties directly into Solvo too. They've really given us an opportunity to be able to give new clients the attention that new clients need. In our practice, clients need attention throughout their entire case, right? but specifically there are issues at the beginning of a case that the attorneys and the paralegals and the support staff really need to be on top of to make sure that the clients are getting taken care of. And with Solvo, we've been able to build out our case opening team and our client support team and the paralegal team in a way that right when they sign up a case with us, they've got multiple people they can contact to help out with their property damage, make sure that they're getting their medical information set up and taken care of. The insurance letters of representation are going out. All these sorts of things really go into the speed and the efficiency that we work, and also gives us the ability to give clients the immediate attention. There's a lot of other law firms out there that can sign a case and maybe not touch that case for 2-3 weeks because they just have so much going on. And that's just not us. We don't set it up that way. The Solvo team really allows us to get in and connect with those clients quickly so we can start helping them out and knocking some things off knocking some of their problems away as quickly as we possibly can.
Awesome. I love it. So if people want to learn more about your firm or they want to find you guys on social media, what's the best way for them to find you online?
Yeah, easy. It's easy. So it's K_R_L_G on Instagram. You can find us on LinkedIn. We actually post some good stuff on LinkedIn. Facebook, I think we have a Facebook page too. I also think we have a TikTok, which posts some of our funny reels and stuff like that. But we are easy to find for sure.
Awesome. And what's the website as well?
KurtzRiley.com, KurtzRiley.com.
Awesome. Brian and Austin, thank you so much for coming on, sharing a little bit of your story. It's been a pleasure having you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Law Firm and Finance Show, where we give you great content that helps you build a more successful law firm. So make sure you hit that subscribe button on all platforms and follow us for more content.